Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm going to be talking about my 10 favorite TV shows. So people have asked me this through email and Instagram and during live chats, and people are asking me what my favorite television shows are. And I think it's pretty obvious if you've ever watched any of my videos that there are several shows that I routinely reference. But I think there are some other shows that maybe you'd be a little surprised about. Some of them I'm a little embarrassed about. Others I will defend them, not to the death, but to definitely the injury. So yeah, let's start this. If you are not subscribed yet, though, it would be awesome if you would subscribe and you can click the little bell. I feel like every YouTuber does this now, and I feel like, maybe I should, although it feels weird. Please subscribe and like, and if you'd like to support me on Patreon, you may do so. Okay, done. All right, so let's talk about my 10 favorite television shows. So my first one is probably one that you are not, it might be surprising. I don't know. It's actually Law and Order, and it has been on for decades. I think it finally went off the air, which honestly it needed to go. But I absolutely love Law and Order. So for those of you who don't know what Law and Order is, it's an episodic detective show in New York. People die, murderers get caught, sometimes, most of the time. And it really doesn't focus a lot on the character so much as it focuses on the mystery itself. And I love that component, and I love trying to figure it out. So yeah, why I love it, I actually have notes written down, so so it's because it's gritty, it's standalone, you can pick it up, you can watch one, you can drop it, you can come in at any point in time, and you don't really, your experience isn't diminished in any way. So I really like that. I usually love long form shows, but Law and Order is a definite exception. And although the characters aren't super deep in their own right, like through the whole show, and definitely through process of finding the killer, you get to know a little bit more about them. So there's no feeling that they aren't fully fleshed out. It's just that the show isn't really concerned about, I guess, exposing all their inner turmoil and stuff. Anyway, I love it. My grandma and I used to watch it together all the time too, which definitely has some nostalgia there. We used to love this show, and so yeah, we watched all the Law and Orders, but the original Law and Order is the best. So, all right, so on to show number 9, Friends. So I think it has something to do. It's so hot in here. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. So I think it has a lot to do with my age, although that's not necessarily true because I didn't grow up watching Friends. I wasn't really allowed to. It was very inappropriate. I didn't even watch it in college. It was only later that I just discovered the retreat that was the ridiculousness of Friends. I think it was when I was really focused on teaching, and I would get upset because teaching is hard. Be aware that your teachers have lives, and the things that you say can hurt them. And high schoolers can be brutal, like absolutely brutal. And I just needed a respite. I needed to get away from parents being angry and not feeling supported by my administration, and students just being really awful just because they were bored. I mean, the whole kit and caboodle. And so I just needed a break. And so Friends was a great 30-minute break, and it was awesome. That's why I love it. Chemistry is great. I watch it now when I'm sick. It's kind of my little happy retreat. So Friends, a little embarrassed about that one, but I mean, I feel like there's a good reason why it's my number 9 show. So. And I'm not saying that these are my top shows in terms of the ones that are the best. That's a totally different list. There are plenty of shows that I think are phenomenal that are not my favorites because, well, they make me want to like rip my heart out and like put it in, I don't know, an immersion blender, stick an immersion blender on it or something. I don't know. All right, so my 8th one is actually House. for those of you who don't know what House is, it's a drug-addicted, brilliant epidemiologist. This is my little synopsis that I wrote for it. A drug-addicted, brilliant epidemiologist works with a team of doctors to figure out medicine's most puzzling problems. Some of them grow along the way. That's what I put for House. And why I absolutely loved it, this is another one that I watched with my grandma. You can tell that I was really close with my grandmother. I was. But the banter is phenomenal. It's great. And Hugh Laurie, his execution is just phenomenal. And he says the stuff that everyone wants to say but doesn't say. I feel like. So I enjoy that. The snarky comments, the occasional hijinks, and the kind of, the sophomoric humor quality and the sexual tension. It also has a mystery component. I love it. And I understand that it's not very realistic, which, thank God. Because it's terrifying if you actually think that's what your doctors are like. But I definitely enjoy House. So, all right. My next one, number 7, is Firefly. So this is the first of the Whedon shows to appear on my list. And for those of you who've never seen Firefly, I highly recommend it. I recommend all these shows to some point, but definitely Firefly. My little synopsis of it is a Western in space that is very much like an Americanized Cowboy Bebop. While flying under the radar, a band of scavengers take on 4 travelers. None of them are who they seem. Ooh. So I assume most of you have seen Firefly. If you haven't, turn this off and go watch it now. It's great. Really short. It was canceled way too soon, and it was great, and a lot of the stuff wasn't explored as much, which is sad, but they had a wrap-up movie called Serendipity. No, that's a movie with Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack. Serenity. It's called Serenity. It's just great. So why I love it, I love good characters, and this one has them in spades, which is perfect. So it has everything. It has the Western archetypes. I love a good Western, and this has all of them. It has, like, the sassy, slinky prostitute woman. There's the gunslinger. There's the muscle. There's the preacher. There's, the doctor. I mean, it has everything. It's great. And as someone who grew up watching Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, this kind of tickles the Western soap opera bone a little bit. So I like, oh gosh, my feet are killing me. I gotta sit down. Oh, I was like up on my feet, not really on my feet, but on my ankles, and ouch. The next one, episode 6, I'm trying to think where the camera is, 6, is a show that doesn't get as much credit as I think it's due. And Pete, you might disagree with me, I don't know, but here it is. Fringe. I loved Fringe. Here's a little, this is my synopsis. FBI agent Olivia Dunham investigates paranormal events with the help of Fringe scientist Walter Bishop and his son Peter. And that doesn't really encapsulate the greatness. Oh, Chris is calling. Hey Chris, what's up? How are you? Sorry, I'm recording the video and this is going to be on the video. Let's see. What do you want for dinner? Awesome. All right. Bye. That was Chris. He's picking up meat at the grocery store. Okay, so back to Fringe. Yeah, I feel like that synopsis, although it was very accurate, doesn't really encapsulate the awesomeness that is the show. So why I love it. I feel like what J.J. Abrams got wrong with Lost and Alias, he gets right with Fringe. I really feel that way. It's rare that a series actually improves in the last season, or that the last season takes all the kind of isolated constituents and sort of synthesizes it into a really, really awesome finale. And Fringe does that. I remember watching the second half. I mean, it was not the penultimate episode, but it was close to it, where I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I loved it. It was just, it just connects everything. And when you feel like the show is going off the deep end, trust me, it actually comes back around full circle, and they use a lot of those things in the last season in a wonderful way. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I also really like the chemistry. I wrote that down. The chemistry between Olivia and Peter. It was subtle, it wasn't too overt, and it slowly develops over time. I feel like a lot of shows, when they have the chemistry, they like for instance, Lost, it's just like the chemistry, and it's like that's one of the propelling forces. Fringe doesn't have that issue. It's the chemistry is very, you know, it's very deliberate, and it's also not a show that is propelled by fan service. I feel like there's a lot of shows that are really, really fan servicey. The notorious one is La Femme Nikita from the 90s. If you want a show that is just fan service, that's your show. But I felt like these relationships were very genuine, and I appreciate that. Number 5. Tell me if you know what this one is. Humans fight back against giant naked titans that have reigned supreme and terrorized humanity for centuries. Yeah, Attack on Titan is my number 5 favorite show. And why I love it, it's just, do I really have to explain why I love it? I feel like everyone who watches this channel probably has seen those reactions. It's the perfect concoction of epic action, zany characters. Sorry, just the last episode's hitting deep. Personal drama, intrigue, it's got it all. So it also has an amazing soundtrack. It has plot twists that have really kept me guessing. I can usually figure shows out pretty well. A lot of you have been surprised that I've been able to, like, catch on to things pretty quickly, and it's because I watch so many mysteries. And this show has just kept me guessing left and right. It's been an amazing ride and very refreshing that I am not bored with the mysteries. It's definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. So, Attack on Titan, number 5. Okay, my number 4. I just hit myself in the face. Number 4 is Battlestar Galactica, the new one. Like the one from 2004. So actually not super new, but newer than the one in the 80s. And the synopsis that I have for this one is humans create robots, or Cylons, to be their slave labor. The Cylons rebel and a war breaks out. The humans sort of win, but in the middle of the war, the Cylons disappear. But decades later, the Cylons return, and this time they look human. The surviving humans must band together to survive. So that's what I wrote. And why I love it, it's just great. It's got sexual tension. It has phenomenal character development. Really great acting. I didn't love how it ended. I felt like they could have gone a different route that would have made it better. But that's testament to how much I love the show, that if I didn't love the way they ended it, I still absolutely loved it. In fact, I sort of just created my own ending in my head, and that's kind of what I believe the ending is, and I like it better. And so, but I do enjoy. I don't know, it seems great. It can get a little hokey occasionally with Apollo and Adama and the bagpipe music, but Starbuck makes up for it. And it also has a religious component that Attack on Titan also has, but it seems very, I don't know, kind of like how Game of Thrones has really great kind of religious kind of religions. Religions is the word I'm looking for. It has interesting religions that are kind of fleshed out. Battlestar Galactica has that too, and I also loved the how maybe the Cylons at times feel more familiar than the humans do, and so I appreciate that. Number 3 is one that I tried watching, turned it off because I was like, no. I tried reading the book, I stopped reading the book. And then one day, I think I was sick. I just decided I'm going to watch it. And I did. And I freaking love it. It's The Magicians. And the best way I can describe it is graduate school meets Hogwarts. And it has a lot of things that I love about Harry Potter in there. It also is self-aware. It's really fun. It has adult issues that it grapples with that, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't shy away from talking about some kind of intense issues, but they do it in a pretty sensitive way, and has made me kind of consider some things and going, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. So sometimes it can be a little heavy-handed in the social commentary. The abortion storyline I felt was a bit on the nose, but it also, it's a wonderful, fun show to watch. It has one of my favorite duos ever. I can't actually think of a duo that I love more. Elliot and Margot. They are, this is how I wrote this, they are savage betches whose repartee is only matched by their love of a great cocktail. So that's what I wrote about those characters when I was typing this out. I really enjoyed. I should just actually post what I wrote about all these television shows. So that's The Magicians. I have not watched the most recent series, or the most recent season. I'm really nervous. Don't spoil anything for me. I mean, I'll watch it when it comes out on Hulu or Netflix or whatever platform it'll be on. But all right, so my number 2 favorite show. This should be no surprise to any of you, and it's Angel. So that is another Joss Whedon show. I pretty much love everything Joss Whedon touches. I'm a huge fan. So Angel, once known as Angelus, was the most sadistic and bloodthirsty of vampires. However, he is cursed by gypsies and regains his soul, and with it, the remorse and the conscience to help him redeem himself. So it sounds weird. It's actually a spinoff from my favorite show, but I don't know. Yeah, that's the synopsis. So why I love it. Crossovers are super fun. They just are, and I feel like they did a great job with this one. I remember the first crossover that I was exposed to was Green Acres and Petticoat Junction back at Nick and Night days, but I love this crossover. So this one is more episodic than The Parent Show, which, by the way, is Buffy. And it kind of loses its way in season 4, but it reclaims its wonderment and everything in season 5. And that's saying, I mean, it's hard to really kind of adjust after you've just gone a completely wonky way and then create a really awesome final season. And it just has a great ending episode. It's in keeping with all the characters. So, yeah, I mean, It also doesn't shy away from the main characters that you sympathize with making bad decisions and becoming really dark. Because let's be honest, all of our lives, we make bad decisions, and we had really dark periods of time. And I know that when I watched Angel, it was right after I graduated from college, 2008, no jobs, I was super depressed. I just sat in my room and I watched all of Angel. And Buffy and yeah. But I really empathized with some of these characters. So my number 1 favorite television show is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I used to be embarrassed about it, but I'm not anymore. I had a Buffy the Vampire Slayer themed birthday party because I share a birthday, January 19th, with Buffy. And so I just went full bore. So the synopsis of this, for those of you who have never seen it, here's what I wrote. Cheerleader discovers she is the embodiment of the Slayer, a once-in-a-generation superhumanly strong, age-old force whose purpose is to fight the forces of darkness and evil. With the help of her best friends and the school librarian, Buffy fights demons, witches, gods, and of course, vampires. It is self-aware, it's campy, it's got humor, it's got angst, it's got action. It's, like, it talks about, like, all these really heavy concepts, like your first heartbreak, your first time, relationships, death of loved ones, addiction, your impending mortality, feeling like you're the one on the outs with your friends and everyone's really like growing together and you're kind of on the out, like feeling incompetent, feeling hopeless, feeling directionless. It has all those things. It's great. And it also has one of the best transitions or character formations from episode 1 of Buffy to episode, I don't even know, 5, or not episode, season 5 of Angel. So, like, huge arc over, let's see, 9 seasons? 8 seasons. So 8 seasons. The character I'm thinking of was actually the story that Joss wanted to tell. All the other characters are great and awesome, and they don't feel like red shirts or throwaways. But there's this one character in particular that is just so dynamic and vicious and wonderful and hilarious that I don't want to tell you who it is because I want you to experience it for yourself. So, anyway, there it is. Those are my top 10 favorite television shows. Probably some that you expected. Probably a lot that you didn't. But there you have it. I'm always up for being exposed to new shows. Maybe one of these days I will do like my top 10 favorite mysteries because, oh my gosh, I've seen so many of them. Who knows? Or maybe I'll do top 5 because this is a really long video. Anyway, so that is it. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. And I will be posting my Steins Gate. Unfortunately, it's not a reaction. And that's because, I'll explain this later in that video as well, but I accidentally deleted my reaction to that. I don't know what happened, but I did. So I have the original commentary, but I don't have my reaction. So I'm going to record myself watching it. I'm going to talk about stuff as I'm watching it, but it's not going to be a genuine reaction because I already watched it and I reacted to it. I edited it, yes, and then deleted it, which I'm really annoyed with myself about. But it will. The Steins Gate will be coming soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.